Okay guys, we're here at Queen Ferz. I may sound a little bit different and I apologize. I am kind of fitting this into a weird part of my schedule. Let's just put it that way. So I may be a little bit tired or out of it. Anyway, we're at Queen Ferz. I'm going to show you guys two different ways of how to beat Queen Ferz. This is the way where we use Preston instead of Adams. Adams is probably the more efficient route because he can use the sap. In any case, we have to bring monsters along. I'm not giving them any extra items because you don't really need them. This is the item setup we have though for Clank. By the way, we did get an extra Elfin Charm from one of the TNT boards. That's why we have two instead of the usual one, because one you can get from the place where you get the hero's mantle place. I think it's mantle place or something like that it's called. In any case, yeah, this is the general item setup for everybody. Ward's going to be using the Zenithian shield, and we're going to be using the packs of punches. Preston's going to play healer for the most part here, with Ward jumping in when he really needs to, but for the most part he shouldn't. But yeah, that's the general setup. Adams is in the back. Yeah. Alright, that's all the stats. Oh, shut up. And why don't we go ahead and get started. I'm going to fast forward through this. As usual, you want to say no twice, and then yes twice. And let's get started. Alright, for this, monsters will show off whatever he's in his items. Clank will Pax a Punch himself. Ward's going to Zenithian Shield. And Preston's going to Pax a Punch Ward. Okay, good. Monsters died first. That's what we wanted. Alright, so Clank and Ward are just going to go on the attack, and Preston's going to frizzle. Alright, and then Preston's now forced to play healer for the most part. He doesn't really need to heal at this point, but it's better to do it anyway. That crackle's gonna, that bounce is gonna help us because this way we don't have to actually heal that as often. Ward is susceptible to magic a little bit more, but also it just kind of helps a little bit since he's our area of effect healer. And Preston can resist magic decently well. Alright, now Preston needs to actually heal. You're only in danger if he falls below 110 HP, I believe. Anybody, really. Yeah, you can just go ahead and frizzle. But yeah, this is probably the best way if you're going to bring Preston along instead of Adams. But you need Clank and you need Ward. Yeah, you're going to go ahead and heal Ward. But yeah, you want to make sure everyone's above 110. There we go. I do think this is probably the less efficient way to do things, though. You're probably better off with using Adams, but I wanted to use Preston. This is a time for multi-heal, though. But yeah, Preston's not really that great, but he kind of works. Let me see, that was like 50s. What about Kassizzle? Is Kassizzle better? It's only slightly better. You're probably better off using Frizzle because of MP concerns. But yeah, everyone's okay, so we're going to go ahead and Frizzle. On average, Frizzle does a little bit better. And Ward does a little bit more damage than an average Frizzle, so... Oh, bounce wore off. That's my issue there. Why don't you go ahead and Zenithian Shield, and you go ahead and heal Ward. But yeah, this fight, as usual, is not too hard. And Ferz just killed themselves. But alright, that's just one way you could do it. Now I'm gonna show you guys what happens when you bring Adam, so I'll meet you there. Be right back. Alright, now here's Queen Ferz if we were to do it with Adams instead. Now, you've already seen Clank and Ward set up. They're basically the same here. Adams just going to have the Staff of Salvation. That's the only difference. The only reason I don't really like using Adams for this fight is because once he gets Sap off, if no one needs healing, he can't do anything to help attack. So that's why I wanted to show both of these off instead. Adams is kind of... he really doesn't do as much now. He does less damage than Preston. But he's actually the more supportive because he has better speed and more spell uses, really. So anyway, show off your item, packs a punch yourself, you go ahead and Zenithian Shield, and you go ahead and Sap. Okay, we actually got it off. Ferz can actually resist that pretty well. Alright, go ahead and attack. By the way, the Meteorite Armband is on Queen Ferz. It doesn't need to be... not Queen Ferz. On Clank. It doesn't need to be, but for this fight, it doesn't really matter. I just have it on Clank because he's slow, and I like to have him attack first when I'm doing wild battles. That's the only reason he has it on. I'm going to have you go ahead and attack, but you are going to go ahead and Pack a Punch Ward. I'm maybe risking Adams a little bit here. 3, okay. Clank and Ward are in the safe zone, so Adams is just going to heal himself. It's actually good if Adams has to heal, because it gives him purpose of doing something. Otherwise, he really is not doing much. Like, if Ward has to heal, it's not really... Adams really doesn't get to do much. Some of the items that the people have here is because... yeah, I have to multi-heal here. Is stuff that I use for... in general. I'm going to have Adams attack here because he's not going to have to do much. Yeah, 67 damage. If I had him oomphed, he might be doing a little bit better, but it's still not great. You two attack, and you just go ahead and keep salvationing. So yeah, it's the difference between having better attackers or having someone more supportive when it comes between Adams or Preston. I'm going to have you go ahead and Zenithian Shield, and you go ahead and salvation yourself. The Zenithian Shield is not absolutely necessary, but it's helpful. Yeah, you're going to have to multi-heal because 2 of you are in the danger zone. You know what? I'm going to play risky here. Heal Ward. And let's see. Okay, not bad. Risky paid off a little bit there. Yeah, because Clank has self-healing, he's basically fine. And there you go. I think, yeah, with Adams, you get by through it faster because they got better damage output with the attack and all that. But, I don't know. I find it less interesting to have Adams with us instead of Preston. Either way, you could defeat him with whoever you bring. And now that we're past it, we can bring the whole full party. So there's nothing to worry about. Yeah, and Preston still levels up, so that's good. If Preston couldn't level up, like outside the not being in because he's not in the party, I would say you're better off bringing Preston, but that point is moot. So, all right. So I guess the next fight's gonna be King Korol. So I guess I'll see you there. Okay, guys, we're here at King Korol. Things are going to be probably take a little bit longer than you'd want it to because unfortunately we don't have very good attack and we can't sap, and if we use packs of punches here, it's going to get disruptive waved more often, and we kind of want to not have disruptive wave happen as much. If we had oomph as a spell instead, it wouldn't be as bad because we could keep reapplying it. Unfortunately, we do not have that though. I was just looking things over, and funny enough, I may have to give Ward the extra strength seeds because his strength is only a little bit better than Rotten Apples. Bear in mind, Or King maxes out at level 30, so he still has some time, but still, it feels like we want him to get some decent attack, you know, when he's not healing. I'm not sure yet exactly on that, though, because maybe later on I might regret that. I just know Clank will eventually max out his attack, Ward eventually maxes around 150-ish according to the Wikipedias. Adams is already maxed out. He may need to get all the life seeds that we've been gathering because we may need him just to do that just to survive and all that. And Preston may need grinding just to get that agility up because that's really what's lacking a lot here. Normally I would be giving like Adams the Dragon Staff or something, but unfortunately we need him to help spot heal because he's the fastest. He's the second fastest we got. Whoever's not wearing the Meteorite Arm Bracer, he's faster than everyone else though. So it's just kind of like, you need him kind of, you know? So anyway, here's our items. For Clank, I took off the Meteorite Armband because, yeah, we need to have that on Ward. Sacred Armor as usual. Sacred Armor is probably going to be his final armor. That may change, I'm not sure, but he's got a Yiggleaf and a couple of Elfin Elixirs for just in case, but he's unlikely to use them. Then we got Ward, Meteorite Arm Bracer on them. The Elfin Charms are not needed for this fight, but they're there just because I'm lazy. And the crude image is just, I think it helps with crits, I'm not positive, but it seems to be because Ward crits more often than anyone else on the party. So I'm just going with it because he has the highest luck. And a couple Elfin Elixirs for himself. He doesn't need Leaves because he has Kazing. As for Adams, he'll have the Staff of Salvation because he's the second fastest we have on the team, behind whoever's with the Meteorite Arm Bracer. Zenithian Sword to help get bounce down so Preston can use Frizzle. And he's got a Yiggleaf and a couple of Elfin Elixirs for just in cases. As for Preston, I do have the Dragon Staff on him, but I don't think it's a good idea to use it on him for this fight. Preston has a very good natural resistance to Ice Breath, which is what King Korol has. And if you use the Dragon Staff, you get new resistances, like you're immune to fire, but you're not immune to ice. And it shows. It's pretty bad. So this is a case where you'd probably want the Dragon Staff on somebody else, but because Adams is fast and we kind of want him to, you know, heal people before Korol goes, you're better off giving it to Adams. That to Adams, and Dragon Staff is unlikely to make much use. Plus, we don't want to be Disruptive Waved, because Preston's going to be using Absorb Magic, giving Absorb Magic to Ward, so Ward can keep getting MP for multi-heal when needed. And, but yeah, he's got some Yiggleaves and Elfin Elixirs just in case. For the most part, Preston's just going to be frizzling and supporting where he can. So that's our party. Let's jump into this fight. It's not, like I said, it's not really hard, but it is annoying, I would say, because it's going to take longer. We can't sap him. And our attack is not great. Only Clank's attack is decent. Ward's is only okay. So, anyway, he attacks. You don't have anything, because don't bother with bounce, it would get Disruptive Wave, so you attack. You can't really set up for anything because of reasons here, so you're better off just defending, because Adams really can't attack very well right now. And you are going to Absorb Magic for Ward. And that's why we didn't use Frizzle right away with Preston, because of that. So these two are going to attack. You're going to Disruptive Wave. And I'm going to have you attempt to Frizzle, because Adams should be faster, but hopefully Preston won't outspeed him. Of course, the dude defends anyway, so... But yeah, so these two are going to attack. Adams doesn't have any healing to do, so he's going to defend, and we're going to Frizzle with Preston. Yes. Okay. Get some MP, alright, and we're an okay level of damage. We want to be above 130 HP for Adams and Clank. So, he's okay. I'm going to have him heal Preston, and you're going to Frizzle, because he shouldn't... Korol should not bounce yet, at least. Oh, he does, but didn't matter. Okay, you to attack. You go ahead and Disruptive Wave him. I'm not going to chance it. You're going to have you just attack regularly. Just in case. Ugh. Yeah, he only does 16 damage. It's not much. Alright, 105 is fine. I'm going to have you go ahead and heal. You go ahead and frizzle. Alright, that's a multi-heal now, because we're a little bit in danger. Which means you should just defend, and you should frizzle. Yeah, Adams can't really contribute much, unfortunately, here, other than Item Wizard here. Let's see. We're in okay range where we don't actually have to multi-heal, so he's going to do that, and you're going to frizzle. Ward's going to have decent MP thanks to Absorb Magic, so I probably don't need to be doing all this spot healing like I am, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's see. Yeah, that's a... We don't need to multi-heal, but I'm going to. Adams, why don't you try attacking just for shits and giggles? He's bounced down. Yeah, see, he only does 11, so... It's not great. You go ahead and Disruptive Wave. You don't really have much. You know what, for shits and giggles, go ahead and just get an Absorb Magic on yourself. Preston won't really need it, but Preston has surprisingly decent resistances, though. I was a little, well, surprised, for lack of better words. He's got pretty good resistance. He resists Ice Breath by 1/3 naturally, and he also has his Flowing Drift, so he absorbs it. He lowers it even further. Alright, you need to Staff of Salvation yourself, and you just keep frizzling. Yeah, Ward's not going to be able to... Oh, no. Too slow. But luckily, Preston can resist his own magic pretty well. Go ahead and... Zenithian Sword. Preston should be fine. I'm going to go ahead and use Drain Magic instead, because it won't do much if it matters anyway. Yeah, you get MP almost for free from him anyway, so may as well. Go ahead and Salvation, and you go ahead and frizzle again. Yeah, Preston doesn't really have to worry too much. Let's see. Everyone is in okay, except for Adams, so we'll just keep going. The more we have to we get to Disruptive Wave, we're... Oh. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, Preston only took 41 damage from that. Okay, this is an absolute you must multi-heal. I'm going to also Salvation him just for safety, and you're going to frizzle. Yeah, the more we Disruptive Wave, the better, because it's less damage game output for us, or put on us. Ward, go ahead and attack. You Salvation. Yeah, our agility's at that middling point where sometimes King Korol can beat us, because Korol has 73 agility and everyone has a very close to that. You go ahead and heal yourself, because everyone else is fine. But yeah, you actually kind of want Preston to attack where he can, because he's got decent attack on this since he can't sap. You to attack, why don't you go ahead and Zenithian Sword. I'm going to go ahead and risk a... I didn't need to, but risk a frizzle. A frizzle. Oh, that's a sad time to have a crit. You go ahead and heal, and you frizzle. But yeah, Clank's going to be the MVP in terms of attack. War's just a little extra damage, and Adams is support. You should be fine. You need to heal. And Preston is probably your second best attacker when he's able. All right, bounces up. Go ahead and do that. I'm gonna just defend. I'd rather not risk him hurting himself, really. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, go ahead and attack Clank. Clank is really good, honestly. Why don't you go ahead and Salvation, our healer, and you could Frizzle. But yeah, again, it's not hard, it's just obnoxious, I'd say. That's actually multi-heal territory because everyone's a little bit in danger. So you go ahead, and I'm going to have you extra Salvation, Preston, for some security. Not that he needed it exactly, but that's okay. Alright, bounces up. This is where I wish that I had another healing item, because that's where Preston could also help out a little bit. When we get the Sage's Stone, I'll probably give it to Adams, and Preston will be doing Salvation to help out here and there. I'm going to go ahead and risk a Frizzle, because we're at full HP. But if Preston's hurt, I'd rather not. Adams, you don't have anything really to contribute right now, so you go ahead and defend. If I wanted to, I could give Adams an item to use a spell as. I think what probably be best is the Crackle Sword, whatever the Ice Sword is called. I can't remember what it is right now. I think it's Crackle Sword or something like that. Because it does decent damage. It does more than what Adams can do right now. Okay, go ahead and Zenithian Sword. You have some HP down, you defend. Okay, that's alright. Go ahead and... Preston's fine if he gets blasted with Cold Breath. That's the most dangerous thing that Korol has. The boom... That does hurt. Yeah, that's multi-heal because Adams will die if Ice Breath goes, and Preston needs the healing, so... Okay, go ahead and multi-heal. Why don't you go ahead and... just defend. Preston doesn't need that extra healing, so... There goes Bounce. Why don't you go ahead and do that, and your HP's safe enough. Go ahead and Frizzle anyway. Most times when he bounces, yeah, he ends up defending, but I'd rather just try and Frizzle anyway, because he doesn't always. Adams, you can't do much. Why don't you defend? Yeah. Adams is probably going to be dead weight when we have to do S-Tark. Oh, and there we go. Because, yeah, unfortunately, Adams is done leveling, so... And he has no breath resistance, so he is screwed later on. But we made it through. Again, it wasn't not that it's hard, it was just more obnoxious than anything. But we made it. That's all that matters. So I guess the next time I'll see you guys is the last Lodja fight. So I'll see you there. Sorry if my voice is squeaky.